so much depends upon the depth of them rather than the width. I mean, the width is important, but the depth is what I look for in a really good hole. I mean, I've jumped into some exceptionally wide ones in the dark, expecting something terrific, only to find myself barely up to my knees. I'm not too much of a man to admit there have been tears in my eyes some nights, standing there in a really wide, really disappointing, shallow hole. I can't think when I first started to love holes. I can't think of a time when I didn't. I mean, who wouldn't? They are fantastic. I come home some nights around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, covered in mud, and my wife looks at me and she says, "Someone found a good one." I used to dream as a child about finding the perfect one. I thought at the time it would lead to an underground world full of mischievous pixies and dancing sylphs, full of exotic wonder and magical interludes that I would discover and claim as my own. Mostly it's just rabbits. They get a little shock when they see me poking my head through their burrow. I've learnt to dig down really quietly. Then when I get to the last layer of earth separating me from the main burrow, I put on a specially designed helmet. I position myself upside down and then I push through the last layer of earth. Sometimes, just before I do it, I close my eyes, trying to imagine what must be going on down there. Then through I pop, scattering rabbits as I go. I had a mole once. That was a good night. I love the feeling of squeezing into a hole, not knowing what will happen or what I'll find. I might one day come across buried treasure or some kind of undiscovered subterranean animal. I'd put the animal or treasure into one of my specially converted jam jars, normally just reserved for earthworms, earwigs or really interesting slugs. I'd show the find to my local paper. Then I expect the TV would come calling. There'd be chat shows, guest appearances. I'd probably have to receive awards and have my photo taken next to bikini-clad models. Or they might put me on the cover of Time magazine. They might even start a trend. Hole diving, they might call it. Groovy young things could make intertube videos showing the joy of a really good hole. They might even start a magazine. Holes and the people who love them. Perhaps even pro-celebrity events. The Olympics, perhaps. It's not why I do it, of course. Not for the glory, nor for the subterfuge. Council officials aren't keen on local taxpayers, such as myself, enjoying the amenity of a professionally dug hole, so I have to keep an eye out for security. Thankfully, the lot around here are almost laughably lax, so once I'm mostly embedded, I can concentrate on the task at hand. Talking of which, I've got to go. There's an excavation in town that looks rather promising. I might take my jam jars, just in case.